Photography props can take your boring old product photos and create something magical. Using props helps you tell a story about the product you're photographing. A good product photo tells a story, and it's your job as a photographer to tell the best story possible. This video is breaking down the 3 different categories of props I use. We'll be building out a scene so that you know exactly how I style my photos. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chris Pieta. I run a production company and teach creative business and product photography. Let's get into it. Why use props? Props tell a story. Props can take a boring supplement bottle and make it known that the supplement is made for your joints or for your creativity or for going to sleep. Props can take a granola bar and tell you exactly what flavor notes are present in that bar without you needing to read the label. Props can add balance to your scene, add in shadows, and tell a story about the product you're photographing. Props can make a photo bright and cheery or dark and moody. Props are a powerful tool in every product photographer's arsenal. Learning how to use them is an important skill if you want to progress in your photography career. Props are not easy to use, and it doesn't come naturally for most people. What you see in your head doesn't always translate well into the scene, but with some practice, styling a scene will become second nature to you. By using props to build out lifestyle scenes, you'll be able to have photography that really wows clients. Adding a bit of complexity to the scene can take you from an amateur photographer to a pro-level photographer. This isn't always the case though. If used incorrectly, the scene will become crowded and confusing and will actually look worse. You need to know how to style a scene and what types of props to use in order to actually tell a good story. When picking props, you always want to start with the product at hand. Let's take a hazelnut coffee for example. Right away, you can use actual coffee beans as a prop. But don't stop there. Really show the flavor notes of the coffee by utilizing hazelnuts too. At this point, you can decide whether you want a super clean scene or a more messy scene. Either use whole hazelnuts for that clean scene, or if you want to get messy, crack open a few of the nuts and have bits of the shell laying around the scene. Already, we can picture a scene that's way better than just a bag of coffee. You can also add in a coffee mug to the backdrop for a quick and easy prop. People drink coffee in the morning, so maybe add in a journal and a cool looking pen to finish off the scene. And there we go. With just 60 seconds of thinking, we can take a scene of a boring bag of coffee and transform it into something that tells a story. I'll be building out my own scene at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Right now, I want to walk you through how I use props. There are actually 3 main ways I'm currently using props to tell a better story about the product photography I'm doing. By the way, if you're getting any value so far, please drop a like below. As a food and beverage product photographer, I love fresh ingredients. They instantly tell the consumer looking at the photo what the flavors are in the product. Are we shooting a strawberry protein powder? Strawberries in the scene will instantly tell people the flavor. Maybe it's a mocha latte. Let's have a broken up chocolate bar and coffee beans falling into the scene as an action photo. This is such an easy way to use props that will tell a good story around the product. You can get as creative as you want here. Using the fresh ingredients as flavor notes is really just a starting point. I've even photographed vitamin C supplements where I had oranges and orange juice present in the scene because people associate vitamin C with oranges. This makes for powerful photography that gets your clients more results. Your clients will see how your photography helps their click-through rates and sales, so they'll continue working with you. Spending the time to tell a story with props will help those final photos so much. I've also got a lot of random props in the studio that I use for building out lifestyle scenes. I've got plates, mugs, journals, cool looking distress things, plants, you name it. You can build out lifestyle scenes to tell a story of the product you're photographing. Let's say you're working with a coffee company again. Maybe in the background you can have a Chemex with someone pouring into it from a kettle. In the foreground you can have some spilled coffee beans, a mug, a coaster, maybe a plate with a bagel on it. You're building out a lifestyle scene and telling a story about the coffee. What about the tasting notes of the coffee? Cherry and dark chocolate? Add those to a bowl so the consumer sees this and they can imagine the smell and taste of the coffee. Lifestyle photography is all about storytelling. It's important for you to know the product so that you can build out a scene and show what the brand is trying to sell. And this is just the start. You can alternate backdrops with wooden tabletops to add a rustic feel to the scene. If you want something a bit more modern, use a backdrop that looks like a marble countertop. This one change alone can transform your scene. Lifestyle photography is the hardest for me to do. The action photography is technically demanding, but it's not super hard creatively. Lifestyle photography takes a lot of brain power for me to tell a really good story. If you feel like you don't know where to start, go on Pinterest or Instagram and find pages that are doing really good work. Then just try and replicate those scenes. Over time, you'll learn what works and what doesn't work. Then you'll start adding your own twist to it. And before you know it, you'll be able to create these scenes all on your own. So we've covered fresh ingredients, we've covered lifestyle props. What's the third category of props that I use? By now, you've probably seen these geometric shapes in your Instagram feed, either cubes, spheres, cylinders, and various different prisms. I didn't use these for a while, but I finally tried some out a few months ago and I'm really liking them. I like using these for shots on colorful backdrops where I can use the geometric props to add some balance to the scene. They help introduce shadows and highlights to the scene, and I can even elevate the product that I'm shooting. Now, a lot of these scenes look pretty basic, but they take a surprisingly long time to compose. There's a lot of trial and error in adding different shapes, moving them around in order to get the best looking composition. I see a lot of modern brands using these types of photos in their marketing. We'll see whether these are just a trend or if the style is here to stay. And finally, where do I actually get props? For food and beverage props, that's pretty straightforward. Just go to the grocery store. Or if you value your time, use Instacart and pay someone else to do it for you so that you can make money while they shop. For lifestyle props, I really like Crate & Barrel. Everything just kind of looks good in my opinion, but they are pretty expensive. You're paying extra for that design. If you're on a budget, go to thrift stores. They're great places to go to on a budget. I like going to One By Me to look at vintage props, and there's some pretty cool stuff in there. The geometric props I have, I bought from Proper Goods. They're honestly not great. They're this foam material that easily gets dents in it, and some sides have this weird texture to them. I haven't really looked at other places to get them, but I know Erickson Surfaces also sells these, but they're made out of wood, so they come at a higher price. Next, I'm gonna set up a blank scene in the back here, and we're gonna introduce some props one by one and build out a killer scene. Let's get into it. Okay, so we've got the top-down setup here. Today we're photographing Cometeer coffee. These are frozen capsules. They're kind of new to the market, so these will be a fun challenge to use props with and really show consumers what they're all about. So let's start with our table setup. I'm using this big surface here. This is from Erickson. It's this distressed wood. Looks like a nice table. This will be the center of the centerpiece of our shoot. Next, let's add in the coffee itself. We got these capsules here. I'm gonna place one slightly off center right here. Maybe give it a little tilt, and also place another capsule on its side so that consumers know what it looks like from the side, because from top down you just see this circle, you might not know what it is. So instead of placing it down just like this, I actually have this stuff that I use for braces. It's a piece of rubber, I guess. I'm gonna use this down here to prop up the capsule so it looks more, so you got more of a profile look to it. Maybe move it a bit towards here. Okay, there we go. Next, we're gonna use some fresh ingredients. So I've got a bag of coffee beans here that I'm gonna be using. Just some coffee beans, whole coffee beans that we'll spread around the scene here to right away show consumers what the product is before they even can read the top or even see the capsule. So just a few beans on the bottom here, add some complexity to the scene here. Next, we talked about how people like to drink coffee in the morning. People also like to journal in the morning. So I'm gonna add this nice leather journal here, kind of distressed look to it to go with the backdrop here. And with that, we can add a pen as well. So we'll add a pen right on top there too. And already we're building out a pretty cool scene here. I've also got this slate presentation thingy from Crate & Barrel. So we're gonna add that down here, add some more color, add some more texture to the scene in this bottom corner here. Up top, I think I wanna add just a kitchen towel to kind of show, add some more texture again. And I'm gonna go with this white and gray towel, kind of add some more color here, kind of have it crumpled up in the top here. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And lastly, I'm actually gonna add this old camera I have lying around. It's my old film camera. Add it right in the corner here. Move some stuff around, maybe move these beans closer there. Add some more beans here. And I think that looks pretty great. We went from no props to this cool scene where we know it's coffee beans in here. And yeah, that took, I don't know, 2 minutes. We went from boring scene to really cool dressed up scene. So it's easy to see how props can really transform a lifestyle scene. Now, if we want to do even more here, we could even add a hand element and have me opening one of these. So we can move this around here and transform this into an action photo with hands in it. So we would just have my hand here opening this. You can get really creative with this. So it's up to you guys what you want to do with these scenes. So get creative and I will see you on the other side. That's all I got today. Thank you for watching. I've got a video right here that I think you'll love, and I will see you in the next one.